And hello again, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of Jacket Vision, a playoff edition. I'm Mickey Shadricks along with Oxford head coach Ryan Herring. Last Thursday night, Oxford opened up the playoffs with a 30-7 victory over Hueytown, advancing to the second round where they will take on Muscle Shoals, a team that eliminated the Yellow Jackets in last year's playoffs. Coach, your team improving to 11-0. Ironically, the first time Oxford's been 11-0 since the 1993 state championship season for your dad. I'm sure he's probably let you know about that. But anyway, first off, congratulations, because that was a big win for you, not just because it was a playoff win. That was not your typical 4C that you had to take on Friday night in Hueytown. They were a quality football team, and your team answered the challenge.
They had some good football players. The free safety I thought was the best safety we've seen all year. They had a big Division I tight end. The quarterback and running back both were good athletes, and they gave us a good game. And our kids battled. And finally, right there towards the end of the fourth quarter, we had a little breathing room. But it was a hard-fought game on both sides.
They came out, and I think they changed some things up a little bit, X's and O's wise. Talk about what they did to you that you maybe weren't expecting when the game got started.
Well, they were a 3-4 defense, and they came out running a 4-3. So, that we were kind of scrambling on the sideline to make some adjustments on some blocking schemes. Offensively, they'd been a lot of tight end, two running back type offense, and they came out there and basically spread a lot of trips, a lot of doubles. I don't know why they changed it up, but it caused some worry. But our kids, my hat's off to our kids. They did a great job of just playing football and sticking with rules and sticking with stuff they've been taught and playing hard. That all the credit goes to them.
Well, your defense has been so dominant all season, but obviously the playoffs, it's a different level of competition, but still you hold them to 7 points. And as we'll see when we watch the highlights, they had some talent and some speed offensively, and they had one of the dual threat quarterback that could throw the ball and could run as well.
He was a good football player. He had been hurt early in the year, had a shoulder injury. We knew it was going to be tough. They were a lot better than some of our last few opponents, so we knew it would be a different brand of football, and it was. But like I said, our kids really played well. They were really focused. I can't say enough about how they prepared and how they played the game. I was real proud of them.
Well, now you get Muscle Shoals, a very familiar team, a team that came into Lamar Field last year in the first round, and they are good again this year, and they are the second seed from their region. Austin won their region. Austin is considered by many as possibly the best team, one of the best teams in 6A, especially in the north. We'll talk a lot about them later on in the show, but I know this will be another tough challenge for you here in week 2.
It's going to be tough, and it's the playoffs, this second round. You expect it to be tough, but I like the fact it's a rematch. I think we've got a better team than what we had last year at this time. So, and I know they'll be tough. It'll be a 4-quarter game, and probably who makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win the game.
And the game, of course, is at Lamar Field again. So, Coach, you're back at home for another round.
That's huge. Not having to drive 3 hours to Muscle Shoals, that's big. They've got to come down here, play on our field, play in front of our fans. Generally when you drive that far, your fan base isn't going to be as big as it would be if they were playing at home. So, we've got some advantages of being at home.
Well, they beat Gardendale in the first round by 3 points. I know you got to go see that game, so we'll talk to you a little bit later on in the show about what you saw X's and O's wise against for Muscle Shoals. We'll take a break, come back with highlights of Oxford's win over Hueytown as we continue on Jacket Vision. And we head out to Lamar Field last Thursday night. Coach, a little bit of a wet track in this one. We had some rain in the area last week, and we start off with, here's a look at that quarterback we were just talking about for them.
That was their first play on offense, and my heart started beating very fast when that happened. But great job right here by Keon Fahmy with the interception. He drops it, but he gets back on it. But that was huge right there. That was a big play, big play. Here's offensive line coming off doing a good job, and there's Titus. It seems like everybody on the field's falling except him. He's built for any conditions, but just a great run, great job blocking up front by the offensive line. Back on defense right here, they try a little outside zone, and Kendall McCollum comes downhill and introduces himself to that running back. That was a nice job right there. who we are, throw a little hitch out here to Juicy Fagans. He does a good job of breaking that tackle and getting about 20 yards downfield. That was a big play right there early. Right here, run a little speed option, do a great job blocking on the perimeter. Caden Higgins, Gabe Webb, Dave Russell. You see Dave blocking downfield up there, and good job by Titus. Get stalled right here, but we get the field goal. Wasn't a pretty kick, but it went through the uprights, and that's all we wanted to do. So we're up 10-0. It was a great job by the two linebackers. But you know what people don't know is that D line right there is doing a great job of taking up blockers, freeing up those linebackers. Good job by Jordan Swain right there on a little pass out to the flats. Here they are, the shallow. Big conversion right there for us. Brody just slipped down, which, you know, they had guys slipping, we had guys slipping. We both had to play in the same conditions. But that was a good job by them. Big play right there. You know, that did a good job. We've got to stop routes right there. I think Kendall had his eyes in the backfield a little bit, but we improve on that. Another big hit right there, if you could see at the end right there. There was a lot of hitting going on both sides. They brought it, and we brought it. It was a real physical game. Missed a tackle right here. They break it for a big first down play. But the defense, you see them running the ball, you know, chasing the ball well. You know, sometimes those things happen. You know, you just got to regroup and bounce back. Another great job right here by Janito Allen. He's done a good job for us this year at corner, 3-year starter. You know, he needs to. Right here, he has all day to throw, but we're do a good job with coverage and then a good job of rallying to the ball with the two backers. Both backers had a great football game. That was a huge stop right there on 4th down. There's big Gabe Webb right there just punishing guys. What I've noticed about him is a lot of times people don't really miss tackles. I don't think they want to make tackles when he's running the ball. And there it is right there, just a little outside veer. He breaks it for a little touchdown. Good job coming off the ball, that left side right there. Good job by Abe reading it.
And there you see your halftime score, Oxford in front 17-7. And Coach, being at the game, just watching the highlights, you probably don't understand how important that touchdown was right there, because you were up 10-0. They answered, made it 10-7. You got the ball back late in the first half. Of course, you held them out. They were down in position to score. You stopped them. You get the ball back. And I'm not sure you were even thinking points at that time, but somehow you got down there and you get that touchdown. That was huge.
They went and hit a guy late after a play and gave us 15. And, you know, we really weren't thinking, hey, let's put it in the air right here because, you know, the wet field ball's wet. But we got those 15 yards, and I said, hey, let's go ahead and make a run at it, but let's be smart. And we did that. The kids did an unbelievable job. And, you know, scoring right before half was huge in that game.
Made a big difference. It would have been 10-7 instead 17-7. You seem to come out in the second half, as we'll see in a moment, and really seem to carry that momentum from the end of the first half right into the beginning of the third quarter.
That was huge, going into halftime with a score, us taking momentum in, bringing it back out in the third quarter, you know, getting a little leadway, a 10-point spread right there on them. That was huge.
All right, as we go to break, we'll listen in to the Oxford High School Marching Band. And back on Jacket Vision, rolling to the second half now, Coach, with a 17-7 lead. They get the ball, and your defense makes a good stop here to begin the second half.
Yeah, great kickoff right there by Zane Barbeo. And then, you know, getting downfield. Right there, they throw the big tight end. He's 6'6", big old guy. This is a huge play right here. Huge play on a 4th and less than 1. Just a great job by the defense coaches having us ready with that package. We put Clay Webb in there, and that helped out a little bit. Here's Titus right here. Everybody's slipping and sliding and falling. He's just steadily getting yards. Great job blocking on the perimeter. Here we go with a little bootleg right here. We hit Brody Sire out here, and great job blocking right there. Boom by Corey Russell. And Brody's wanting to hit somebody right there, and nobody obliges him. But that was a big play right there. I thought that kind of got the full separation. Watch this lick right here. Bam! Kendall McCollum came down here and ran right through that guy's soul. That was that. They got the first down, but that lick kind of, I think, in a way, sealed the deal. And there's Kendall again, hitting the quarterback on rollout. He had about 4 or 5 major big hits in the game. There's Titus right there doing a great job blocking offensive line, blocking downfield. Dave Russell, a lot of guys giving a great effort right there. Get Richard Cantrell in right here. Richard does a great job. No, that's not bad. That's Titus again. Great run right there by Titus. Great job blocking. I mean, everybody's slipping and sliding. You see Titus, it's almost like he's on turf. He keeping his feet, but just a great job. Here's big Gabe Webb right here, bends it right here, and just basically runs through 2 or 3 bodies. You know, he's a ramrod, heck of a player, and was dealing with almost like a hip pointer. So he just a tough kid. But they don't give up. They're still playing hard. They're still playing. My hat's off to them and their coach staff. They did a good job. That quarterback right there is a good athlete. And they changed a lot of stuff up. They did. So they were prepared. They were well prepared. They played hard. But good job right there getting a stop. Now here's Cantrell coming in. That's a great run right there. That's 2 or 3 guys after contact that he's breaking from. We don't stop the route right there to the big tight end. That was a big boy. He was about 6'6". They try a little rollout here. We get good pressure right there. But it's hard when they roll out left and it somehow goes back right to keep everybody covered long. We just got to do a better job making tackles. Good job by Swain and Malik Satcher. Proud of Malik right there, 10th grader. He came into a starting role last couple of weeks. Real proud of him. That's it's not easy being a sophomore out there playing in the 6A playoffs.
And the final score, Yellow Jackets win it 30-7 to improve to 11-0 on the season. Again, heading into the second round against Muscle Shoals this Friday night. And Coach, before we get to the player awards from the game, I want to mention something that I know a lot of Oxford fans are aware of, but some of our viewers may not catch this. But Hueytown and Oxford playing together last week, and there's 2 players from each school that are currently in the NFL right now on the same team. Quan Alexander, who played at Oxford, and of course Jamius Winston, the quarterback at Tampa Bay, who played at Hueytown. That's
pretty neat. I've never been somewhere where that happened, so that's a real neat deal. And I think the kids, we talked to the kids about it. They liked it. That says a lot about both programs, and we're proud of Quan Alexander and everything he's done and doing.
And I'm sure if those guys weren't busy, they would have enjoyed coming to the game.
Yeah, it would have been neat if they had open week and they could have been on the sidelines. That's pretty special.
All right, let's take a look at the player awards from last Thursday night's win over Hueytown.
All right, Air Jacket Award this week goes to Juicy Fagans, Racehorse, of course, Titus Lindsay, another great game. Highest grade defensive line, Matthew Muncher. Matthew played both ways Friday night, did a good job. Highest grade offensive line, Trey Latham. Trey's huge for us in the middle right there at center. Special teams, Caden Higgins did a great job of filling some bad snaps on punt and getting the ball off. He also plays those for us. Most hits, Kendall McCollum. He was all over the field Friday night. Meanest jacket, Kendall McCollum. I think everybody within 2 miles of the stadium probably heard some of the licks he had. Game breaker, Titus Lindsay, had some huge runs at pivotal times in the game. Takeaway, Malik Satcher had the interception. Keon Fomby had the interception. Hammer Award, Kendall McCollum. I think he had 5 hammers, that's you don't see that much in a game. And Pride Award, Jalen Wills. Jalen's done a great job of helping us out in practice and just having a lot of life on the sidelines, and he plays special teams for us, so real proud of Jalen.
All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, a little more talk about Muscle Shoals, a round 2 opponent this Friday night for the Yellow Jackets. We'll be back on Jacket Vision in just a moment. And back on Jacket Vision, there you see the opponent this Friday night, Muscle Shoals, the 2nd seed out of Region 8 from Northern Alabama, will be coming into Lamar Field to take on Oxford. A 7 o'clock kickoff at Lamar Field. 2nd year in a row these teams have met in the playoffs. Last year, Muscle Shoals coming in, upsetting the Yellow Jackets in round 1. Oxford hoping for a different result this year, and Coach, they're good again. You saw them last Friday night. Your team played on Thursday, so you were able to go scout them when they played Gardendale. They beat Gardendale 23-20. Ironically, that's the second time those two teams have played. They beat Gardendale to start the season 39-28, so two close games with Gardendale. But talk about what you saw out of them Friday night.
Well, they're very similar to us. They're a run-first team, and they want to stop the run, and they play a 3-4 defense. They've got good interior people, two good linebackers. They've got a safety about 6'3" that is a real good football player. The quarterback and running back are the two guys on offense. Quarterback kind of looks like Cam Newton, a big old kid that can throw it, but he can make plays with his legs and extend plays all the time. So we've got to do a good job of neutralizing him. And, of course, the running back, the same one they had last year who, broke a long run at the end of the game on us last year. He's a special running back. He's a senior. But the running back and the quarterback, you've got to neutralize those guys because they are great football players, and they're going to do a lot of different things to get them the ball, and they put a lot of little schemes in to, get you seeing one and the other one gets it, or, right when you think the running back's hot and they're going to, give him the ball, next the quarterback keeps it off the backside. So they do a great job. The head coach, we played at college together, and the offensive line coach also played at UNA with me. And those two guys, they're hard-nosed guys that are going to they'll make sure their guys are ready to play, and we know that from last year. They came down here and beat us last year. We made a lot of mistakes last year. That's the one thing we can't do Friday night is make mistakes. And if we don't make mistakes, we got a chance to win the game.
Speaking of last year's loss, I know that left a bad taste in your mouth and the taste of the players who are back. Is that something that you just kind of let sit there knowing it's in the players' minds? Do you use that as motivation? As a coach, how do you handle a situation like that?
I don't bring up a lot of stuff in the past because I know as a player when I played, we knew who beat us the year before. We knew who beat us the last year. You don't have to rub that in your face. Our kids know all that. Our kids are going to, they're going to play hard. That's one thing about this group this year. I'm not worried all about playing hard. We've just got to take care of the football. We've got to take care of the football, and everything will be okay. That's the big thing. When you play good teams, a lot of times the mismatches don't beat you, the mistakes do, and we just got to not make mistakes and just let them make all the mistakes.
Should be a great game. One of the better second-round games in the entire state, no doubt about it. This 6A second-round matchup between Muscle Shoals and Oxford. We'll be back with you again next week for all the highlights. Hope to see you then here on Jacket Vision.